Hey guys, back with another video. Today we're checking out Aerofly FS2 and the new Utah DLC. I think it's some 20-odd airports in the Utah area, Salt Lake area, so we're going to check that out. Let's get started. So we're going to go to location. You see, we've been in New York for quite some time. We're going to go now to the new DLC, which is in Utah. Is this Utah there, or is that... Make sure I go to the right place. I think you should be able to tell where Salt Lake is. There's Salt Lake. There we go. So we've got a bunch of different airports. Logan Cache, Brigham City, Ogden Hinckley, Hill Air Force Base, Salt Lake City International, South Valley. What do we got over here? Wendover. Nothing up there. Michael Army Airfield, Provo Municipal, Delta Muni, Milford Muni, Cedar City, Rice Canyon, St. George Regional, Colorado. Oh, that's never in Colorado. So we can actually, those are in the Colorado. So now we've got the connection with Colorado right to California. So we're starting to fill out the western area here, which is pretty cool. There's Area 51. But let's check out Salt Lake. Well, actually, yeah, let's check out Salt Lake. That's the biggest airport in the DLC. It's a free DLC, which is kind of cool. You don't have to pay for it. Let's take off from here, from 34R. Our aircraft is going to be, we'll stick with the King Air C-90. All right. And what's our conditions? Make sure our time's okay. Time's okay. We'll keep it clear. Some higher clouds, that's fine. And let's get to it. Forgot to mention that we're in VR here, guys. We're in using Oculus Rift CV1. Really cool. Just looks fantastic. Make sure our rudders are set up okay. And I'm using the CH Products, the Simple yoke, the Flight Sim yoke. And here we are at Salt Lake. Let's take a look around here. There's our plane here. There's the I guess that's the tower view of the airport. We'll just scan around here so you can check things out. Over on top of the tower. That's kind of cool. Back in the airplane. And, that's about it. So we're just going to go, I'm not going to set any navigation or anything. We're just going to go on a cruise here. Fly around, check out Salt Lake just for a few minutes and show you around. So let's get to it. Let me make sure I'm centered properly. Here we go. Up, gear up, and we're good. There's the airport there. It's kind of sparse. The scenery looks, you know, it's right up there with Aerofly standards. Looks fantastic, actually. Salt Lake is right over there to our left, so we're going to cruise over there. A lot to explore in this DLC, but it's great to see that they're continuing to add to it. Step by step, Aerofly's, becoming more and more expansive in its area to fly. And certainly, it's the only flight simulator that I know of that has inherent VR built in, which is fantastic. It would be great if it had touch control support. You can use a touch controller. If you can use a touch controller to basically, control components on the console, would be great. But that's okay. Maybe they'll get there with that. One place in the country I've never been to. I've never been to Utah. I do love the way this King Air flies. It's so smooth, nice and easy. responds well. It's got great instrumentation. It'd be great if it had a GPS, but that's okay. Maybe they'll build that in. So we're coming up on Salt Lake here. Beautiful sea, oh, just beautiful. Take my head out of the plane here. Can't do that in real life. So what we'll do is here, go out over the lake a little bit, then we'll come back towards those mountains to the left there. But it's a free download, so if you're an Aerofly FS2 user, whether in 2D or VR, you get this for free, and that's great. I haven't checked yet. I'm hoping with this update that they fix the ILS on the King Air. I wasn't able to get that work, but we'll see. I'll check that out at a later date. Here's Salt Lake, the salty lake. You can check out the Bonneville Salt Flats. Aren't they in Utah also? I think they are. Maybe that's them over there. We'll try to land on that sometime. That'd be kind of cool. I just want to check out the detail on these mountains. We're at 212 knots here. We're at 50, coming up to 6,000 feet. Cloud formations look so real. Like they actually change as they go by. It's pretty amazing. I wonder if there's if Salt Lake City itself has any building detail. I guess we could probably check that out. Mountains look incredible. I don't see any buildings. Maybe over there. To my 9 o'clock.
1,000.
Oh, yeah, 1,000 because of the mountains. But they just look incredible. Look awesome. Great detail, great depth. Fantastic. What you expect from Aerofly?
1,000.
We're going to head back over east again. I do find I have to center myself every once in a while with Aerofly, but that's okay. If we've got any building structures in Salt Lake. I think I do see some stuff there. Some buildings right there in the front of me. Slow down and get down to about 4,000 feet here. Yeah, it looks like there's definitely structure in Salt Lake. We'll check that out. Oh, you got to remember, 4,000, that's right, we got 4,000 feet is probably actually 1,000 feet above ground here. I got to remember that. I'm used to flying in New York where it's basically the airport's here at zero altitude, so I should have set that at the airport. There's my airport right there, so we'll come back to there and land when we're finished checking out the city. Let's take a quick cruise around the city, check out the detail, and we'll head back in. I wouldn't imagine
1,000.
I wouldn't imagine they have any other cities in Salt Lake City or the Utah, but we'll check. Maybe Provo has some structure. We'll check that at some point, but I can see Salt Lake City right up there. We're already starting to get into three-dimensional structures. We're at about 1,000 above the deck here. About 151 knots. There you go. Salt Lake City. Now I can't do the slow cruise like you would in the Cessna, but we'll check it out anyway.
$500.
That's cool. 500's cool. So 4,700 above sea level. And having never been to Salt Lake, I can't really tell you if that's what it's supposed to look like, but I would imagine that they did a good job with that because they did such a great job with Vegas and New York, so in LA. But there you have it, Salt Lake City.
400.
The main thing that's important to remember must be the Capitol building right there. The main thing that's important to remember about Aerofly FS2 in VR is the frame rates are exceptional.
500.
I never, ever feel any sense of
400.
sickness at all. Now, I will tell you that I have tried FSX, Flight Simulator 10 there's a Capitol building, using Fly Inside. I'm going to be doing a video on Fly Inside. The folks at Fly Inside were kind enough to give me a copy to check out. I'm going to be doing a video on that soon. And it's a great software package. It really is. But the problem is that FSX just doesn't have the frame rates to sustain VR. And, I find myself getting a little nauseous at points when the frame rates go, kind of low. So there might be some adjustments I can make. I can fly at, I could use, less settings on the graphics. But, I'm flying an Ultra here, the Aerofly, and the frame rates are, like I said, I've never, ever felt sick in Aerofly. Now, I haven't tried X-Plane 11. I have the download from that. I'm going to try that with Fly Inside and see how that is. I've heard that that's a big resource hog because it is such an extensive flight simulator. So, and in VR, that it's tough to get frame rates above like 40 with the system that I have. So that's going to be a problem. Even with asynchronous weaving that VR, that Oculus does, I'm not sure that those rates are going to be good for me. But anyway, I'll be checking that out in the days to come. For now, Aerofly is really my go-to VR flight simulator, that's for sure. I got my wheels down in 3 green, so I see my runway there. I'm going to start flapping, slowing things down a little bit. If you're into flight simulation and you haven't bought a yoke yet, I got to tell you, the yoke makes all the difference. It really does. And like, I have a cheap one. I've got the the CH Products entry one. I think it was like $100. I'm actually thinking about upgrading this to the Yoko, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's supposed to be really good. But for now, I'm really happy with this. I got a pretty long deck there, so I gotta give it more gas here. I'm at 89.
500.
But yeah, so I may look at the Yoko yoke. But for now, this is great. I'm used to it. It hasn't glitched out on me. It's works pretty well. Up and set this puppy down. It is nice to have the call outs. That's why I love flying this plane.
500. 400. 300.
We're at 85 knots. Kick that up a little bit.
200.
Get a good angle here.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That was pretty nice. Let's move over here and check out some of the jets. That was a cool flight. Anyway, just wanted to show you a quick view of the Salt Lake area. I'll be playing around with this a little bit more, maybe doing some flights to LA or Vegas or different areas from here. So you're kind of getting to the point now where you can go. You have a lot more destinations you can check out. So that's pretty cool. All right, we'll take one of the big boys. Spots here. How's that? Okay, let's check outside. There we are. Very nice. All right, guys, so that's Aerofly FS2. Check out here, this way. Where's our plane? Are we over there? Are we over there? All right, so that's the Utah area. First look at the Utah DLC. Really cool, free download. It is a big download. It took a while. I think it took up like 30 gig or something like that. So I think they updated a lot with the game too. So check it out. You can get it on Steam or download it wherever you get your Aerofly FS2 from. Thanks for watching, guys, and hit the like button if you like what you saw today, and please subscribe to Bambino Games for more simulation. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.